To read tab music. As you can see from the PDF that I've included in this lesson, we have what's called tab. Now tab is a very easy way to refer to what we've learnt. So if you're looking at the PDF, you'll see that there's 6 lines. Those 6 lines, each one of those lines represents a string. Okay, that's your first fundamental thing you've got to remember. So then you've got to think, okay, so which line is which string? That's the next thing in your thought process. If you're looking at the top line, that's this one down here, which is the lowest of the strings, the high E. Okay, you might think it's the wrong way around, but there's a reason for this. We don't have to get into that, but what you do have to remember is that the top string on the page, the actual line, is the thinnest one here, and the fattest one is the bottom one in those sequence of lines on the PDF. Okay, so if we're going to go for the string names, looking at that on the tab, it goes E, A, D, G, B, E. So the bottom one, the fat one, is the low E. The next one along is the 5th, next one's the 4th, next one's the 3rd, next one's the 2nd, next one's the 1st. So looking at the PDF, as you can see, I've written a 0. Now, a 0 on the top line. Now that 0 represents an open string. That's when you don't place your fingers down on the frets. Okay, and remember, these are the frets and this is the fretboard, and we place our fingers in between the frets. Okay, so if you've got 0 on that string, first of all, work out which string it is. As we can see, it's the high E, and we play it just once because I've written it once. Okay, that's the first note. The second note is another 0, but this time I've written it on a different line. It's the 3rd line. Okay, counting from the top, 1, 2, 3rd one down. Okay, so that is 3rd one from this, 1, 2, 3, this string. And you play that 1, 2. Okay. Now I've written the next 2 zeros on another string. Now it's going to be the A string, which is the 5th string. As you can see, you can count it from the lowest line. Remember, the lowest line is this string, and you can count it from here, and it's 1 from there, and it's that. It's the 5th string. So you play it twice. Okay. Might seem confusing at first, but bear with it, and the more you look at it and rewind this video and check it out, then the better you'll become at remembering which line is which string. So that's the zeros on the strings. Now, we also want to work out what a number is on a string. Okay, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the fret numbers. Okay, so first of all, you work out which string that I've written a number on, the next lot of numbers on, and then you work out which fret you put your hands down on or your fingers down on. Okay, so I've written a number 1. Now, which string have I written that number 1 on? I've written it on the high E, on that first string, which, remember, the high E is the thinnest one, which is this one, and we've got our first finger on the 1st fret. Okay, you can see it's a number 1. You place your finger down on the 1st fret. The next one is the second fret. So if that's the 1st fret, the next one along is the 2nd. So when we're placing our fingers down on these frets, you want to make sure that you're placing your fingers halfway in between the fret at least. Okay, that's between the metal, between each metal part, or the metal and that nut part here, which is here. So you've got your fingers in between the frets there. Yeah. That's what I make sure that you're going to be doing. Okay, so after playing the 1, first fret on that string, and the 2, the next note on that string, we've got a different string which I've written a number down. I've written a number 4 on the 4th string, which is the D string. So if we're counting from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's this string, and I've played that 4th fret once, and then I've played the same string, but with the 5th fret. If you can see, the 5th fret is written down next to it.